All right. Well, thank you for choosing to be here. Today is not about doing more for your fertility. It's about looking at your motherhood journey differently so that you might consider walking it in a new way. What I know to be true is that most women over 40 do not need to put more effort. And so instead, what they need to is to think about this in a different way. And that's what we'll talk about. So before we go further, let's get you out of your head and tuned into your body. Let's go ahead and take one breath together. Uncross your legs. Drop your shoulders. Let your jaw soften. Inhale gently. And long exhale. Good. All right. So, as I said, most women over 40 on the motherhood journey are not lacking effort. They are usually drowning in effort. Today is not about doing more. It's about understanding why so much effort has not created ease. And so let me go ahead and, is there an echo? Is the sound coming in okay? Or is there an echo? Okay, it's fine. Okay, great. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, so where was I? Okay, today is Chinese New Year. It's the year of the Fire Horse. And here's why this matters to your journey. Fire Horse energy appears once every 60 years. The last Fire Horse year was 1966, before you were born. The next one won't come again until 2086. None of us will be here at that point. In Chinese astrology, fire horses are known for three specific qualities. They are bold without being reckless. They are free without losing their center. And they are fully in their bodies without being controlled by them. And when I read those three qualities, I realized this is exactly what women over 40 need to conceive. Not more pushing, not more protocols, but the courage to trust themselves, the freedom to stop living in fear, and the ability to be present in their bodies instead of at war with them. That's Fire Horse energy, and that's what we're cultivating today. Over the last 26 years, I've worked in fertility from multiple angles. I hold a bachelor's degree in microbiology and molecular genetics from UCLA. I earned my master's in traditional Oriental medicine, graduating magna cum laude. I ran my own acupuncture clinic for 20 years, working directly with women navigating IVF, recurrent loss, diminished ovarian reserve, unexplained infertility, among other issues. I have seen a lot. I've also written a book called Cracking the Egg Myth, focused on improving egg quality through both physiology and lifestyle. I respect the medical system. I understand the science. And I've also seen what science alone does not address. And that is the internal environment of the woman walking this journey. That's why I do this work. Not because I promise outcomes, but because I've seen what happens to women's psyches, emotional systems, marriages, and identities when they carry this alone. And it is not pretty, because this is repeated trauma that can go on for years. And because of that, the transformations, the resilience, the confidence, the inner freedom, the self-trust, the restored relationships matter just as much to me as pregnancy. And that's the lens I'm bringing today. The women who struggle most are not weak or broken. There is nothing wrong with them. They're struggling because they are trying to control something that cannot be controlled through force, willpower, logic, rationale, or analysis. If more effort were the answer, the truth is that this would have worked already, and you wouldn't need to be here. So let me tell you what you'll leave with today. First, steadiness. Shift out of panic. Second, a new frame for fertility after 40. You'll see clearly what's been driving the pressure and how to approach this differently. And third, discernment. The ability to tell the difference between fear and truth in your body. Because when you can feel that difference, you stop letting panic make decisions for you. And that's what this hour is about. Before we go further, I want to say this clearly. This space that we're creating together now is for women willing to look honestly at how they are showing up on this path. Not from blame, from responsibility. You're in the right place if you're willing to examine your patterns, you're open to changing habits that aren't serving you, and you want support, but you don't want to be saved. If, however, you're looking for a quick fix or someone to promise pregnancy, I'm not your girl. And that's okay if we're not a fit. Today is about reclaiming steadiness because your body does not respond to panic. It responds to leadership. After working with women for decades, I realized something important. They were not failing. What they were doing was overriding themselves, ignoring exhaustion, pushing past intuition, forcing productivity, because they thought that's what being responsible looks like. They believed, if I don't stay on top of this, it won't happen. And that belief sounds strong, and generally it's true. But in fertility, it becomes a trap. Because because effort does not equal safety. And conception responds to safety. I have watched women wake up feeling already behind. I once worked with a woman who had 3 apps open before she brushed her teeth. One app was to chart her temperature, another to see how well she slept, and another was her clinic portal. She didn't do this because she was obsessive. She did it because she was terrified of missing something. Every month that didn't work, she added something new. Another supplement, another protocol, another optimization, another data point to monitor. And one day she said, I don't even know what I'm doing this for anymore. I just don't want to regret not trying hard enough. That is not commitment. That is fear disguised as responsibility. That's a nervous system in survival, and survival does not create new life. It protects what is here now. Even when your labs look good, even when you're doing everything right, if your system is braced, your body reads not safe yet. This is not about doing less. It's about leading yourself differently. If slowing down feels dangerous to you, that's a pattern, and patterns can change. This is where Fire Horse energy matters. A Fire Horse does not exhaust herself proving she is worthy. She knows her worth is inherent. And because of that knowing, she moves with focused power, not frantic effort. Let's move to trap number 2. There's a quiet belief almost every woman over 40 carries, I'm already behind. It lives in the background of your day, in the urgency of emails to and from your fertility clinic, in the tightness when your period comes, in late night searches about AMH, statistics, and the next procedure you can try. It whispers, you should have started sooner. You don't have time. You can't afford to slow down. So you rush. More appointments, more supplements, more research. But rushing does not improve biology. It increases pressure. And a nervous system under time pressure goes into survival, hypervigilance, control, bracing. I have worked with 41-year-olds who were calmer than 34-year-olds. And I have worked with 38-year-olds who felt like time was chasing them down. One woman told me, I feel like I'm racing against an invisible clock. And when we slowed her down, her body regulated before her protocol changed. That distinction is critical. Age is real, biology matters, we are not pretending otherwise. But shame about age is not biology. It's a story you're telling yourself, and that story shapes your physiology. The women who move forward powerfully are not the ones denying time. They're the ones refusing to give into it, to collapse under it. Maturity is not panic. Maturity is steadiness under pressure. That is Fire Horse energy. A Fire Horse doesn't waste energy fighting what is. She accepts reality and then chooses how she moves through it with power and self-leadership. Now, let's look at the third trap. This is the most tender trap, and it sounds like this. I'll be whole when I'm pregnant. And it comes in different variations. I'll relax after. I'll feel worthy then. I'll live fully once this works. And it sounds innocent, but it postpones your life. One woman realized she hadn't booked a vacation in 3 years because she was always waiting for ovulation, waiting for a 2-week window, waiting for a safe month. She said, my life feels like it's on hold. So your nervous system never truly rests. It stays on alert, waiting for permission to exhale. Yes, pregnancy matters. It is a meaningful desire, but it is not what gives you worth. When you postpone your wholeness, your body feels that tension, and tension is not receptivity. The women who shift most profoundly are the ones who stop waiting to become someone. They live fully while wanting. That is not giving up. That is strength. And this is the third Fire Horse quality, being fully in your body now. Not when the conditions are perfect, not when the outcome is guaranteed, right now. A Fire Horse doesn't wait for permission to live her life. She claims it. Let me take a moment here to ask you something, and I hope you pause to answer honestly to yourself. If nothing changes, if you continue pushing, rushing, postponing your life, what does that cost you in a year? In your marriage, your partnership, in your sleep, in your self-trust? At some point, the cost of staying the same becomes greater than the cost of changing. And that's usually when women find me. Most fertility journeys still run on the old way. Track more, optimize more, push harder, override your intuition, ignore exhaustion, treat your body like a machine to fix. There's no shame in this. It's what we're taught. And sometimes it's necessary. But women don't burn out because they didn't care enough. They burn out because they tried so hard, they lost themselves. All of their energy went outward, toward managing, monitoring, optimizing, instead of inward, where life actually begins. I want to share with you a new way of walking your fertility journey. The new way does not reject medicine. We still honor labs, data, treatment, but we stop treating the body like the enemy. We treat it like a messenger and a beloved partner. And we ask a different question. What inner environment am I living in daily? Because your cells are responding to more than supplements and the foods you eat. They are responding to pressure, to shame, to judgment, to self-rejection. And if that inner climate is tense, your body makes a logical decision. It's not safe yet. So let's ground this in physiology for those of you who like the science. When your nervous system lives in threat, your body prioritizes survival over reproduction. Blood flow shifts away from the reproductive organs and toward muscles needed for action. The cortisol and adrenaline rise, progesterone can drop, ovulation can become irregular, inflammation increases, and digestion slows. Sleep becomes lighter and less rejuvenating. Your body is not confused. It's protecting you. When your body is under ongoing stress, reproduction is put on the back burner. This is evolutionary biology. For hundreds of thousands of years, reproduction during threat reduced survival odds. Your body has not changed. Your stressors have. The threat is no longer from predators out in the wild, but the continual pressure of the fertility journey. And that includes internal pressure that we create ourselves and external pressure created by others, magnified by social media. When safety increases, those systems begin to rebalance. Blood flow returns to the ovaries and uterus, hormones regulate more predictably, inflammation lowers, sleep deepens and becomes more restorative. The body shifts out of sympathetic defense, survival mode, and into parasympathetic receptivity, where repair and reproduction can occur. Not because you forced it, because it no longer feels under threat. So this work is about removing what keeps your body in protection. Your body knows better than your conscious mind what to do. You don't need to instruct her on how to make a baby, I promise you. Those instructions are encoded in your cells and DNA. I'm going to repeat this because this is so important. Many women think they need to make pregnancy happen. They don't. They need to stop unknowingly blocking it. And I just covered 3 common blocks. Over the years, I noticed something. When women moved out of pressure, they didn't feel just calmer. They developed specific inner capacities, ways of leading themselves that changed the trajectory of their journey. And that's what I now call the Shine Compass. It's not a checklist, it's a way of being. And these 5 capacities directly cultivate Fire Horse energy, bold, free, and fully in your body. Before I walk you through the Shine Compass, I want to be transparent about why I'm sharing this. Everything I'm teaching today is the foundational architecture of the Heart Portal Foundation Circle, my 1-year container, primarily for women over 40, who are ready to lead their fertility journey with steadiness and leadership instead of panic. I'm going to show you how to apply these shifts for yourself today. And for some of you, that practice will be exactly what you need. For others, you're going to realize that you want the sustained support and steady container of Foundation Circle to practice this for the next year. If that's you, I'll share how to join us at the end. But for now, let's look at what the Shine Compass actually is. Sovereignty is when you stop outsourcing your authority. You stop spiraling through other people's answers. You stop overriding your own signals. Because every time you ignore your inner knowing, your body reads that as danger. When you listen to yourself, your body reads that as safety. And safety is what allows life to open. This is boldness. A fire horse trusts her own direction. Home is when the war with your body ends. You stop saying, "My body is broken," and start asking, "What is my body communicating?" You cannot create life in a place that you're fighting. Home is safety. This is being fully in your body. A fire horse inhabits herself completely. Inner trust is making decisions from clarity, not panic. After years of being told when to test, inject, try, stop, many women no longer trust themselves. Inner trust restores that. You move from desperation to discernment. This is directed power. A fire horse moves with precision, not chaos. Now ends the waiting energy. I'll live later. I'll relax after. That postponement keeps the nervous system on hold. When you live fully now, you send your body a powerful signal. My life matters. And your system softens. This is freedom. A fire horse doesn't wait for permission to live. Emotional alchemy is the capacity to feel without collapsing. Most women are experts at holding it together, but emotions live in the body. When fear, grief, and anger move through safely, they stop running the system and you, and that frees energy. This is the fire itself. A fire horse can hold intense feeling without being consumed by it. These are the 5 capacities are not built in one conversation. They're built through repetition, through accountability, through being in a container that protects your standards. And that's why this work is structured. I want you to feel inspired and to reach your vision, regardless of your age. That's what I hope my content does for you, but I want it grounded in reality. And that reality is structured. It doesn't just happen. To create something that defies society's norms and breaks all the conventional rules requires intention and consciousness. So let me show you how this feels in real time. I'm going to stop sharing my slides for a moment so we can do this together. Before I move into the practice, how's everyone feeling right now? Is everyone doing okay? Still with me? Great, thank you. Excellent. Okay. So let's take one breath together. Inhale gently. Exhale slowly. For the next few minutes, we're doing a simple pressure reset where you return to yourself. If you'd like, and if it's safe, you can close your eyes and just take a few deep breaths to settle into this moment. Ask yourself, what pressure am I carrying right now? Just one honest sentence, something that is true for you. Now that you've named it, let's anchor into your body. One hand on your heart, one on your belly, if that's comfortable for you. 3 slow breaths with a longer exhale. Feel the chair beneath you. Now that you're tuning into your body, choose something your body can believe. It might be, I'm not behind. I don't have to do this perfectly. My body is not the enemy. Whatever personal truth you can tune into, let it land. This is the difference between fear and truth. Fear feels urgent, tight, contracted. Truth feels steady, even if it's uncomfortable. So let your body show you the difference right now. You didn't fix your fertility. What you did was you interrupted the survival reaction. And that matters when you do this consistently, over and over again, to create a new baseline. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Did you feel a subtle shift? Drop in the chat what you felt. Calmer and more grounded. Relief. Centered. Goosebumps. That's great. I can't keep up. It's scrolling too fast. Relaxed stomach. Calm and at peace. I went from intense to calm and centered. A softening. Oh, I love that. I'm right on time. Beautiful. Exactly. Good. Okay. That was not imagination. That was your nervous system moving out of protection. Notice what just happened in your body. A few minutes ago, maybe 3 minutes ago, there might have been tightness, the mental urgency, a sense of, I need to figure this out. And just now, even subtly, there may have been more space, more breath, more steadiness. That practice cultivated sovereignty and home, two of the shine capacities. Now, let me show you what inner trust feels like in your body. We're going to practice telling the difference between fear and truth. This is a skill you can strengthen, and it's essential for Fire Horse energy because a Fire Horse knows which voice to follow. If you're willing, close your eyes and take three deep breaths to settle. I'm going to give you 2 statements. Your job is simply to notice what happens in your body when you hear each one. You're not analyzing, you're not deciding, you're just feeling. So, silently repeat this to yourself. I'm running out of time. And notice, where do you feel that in your body? Does it create tightness? Contraction? Urgency? Does your breath change? Just notice. Now shake that off. Open your hands and literally shake them out. Take a breath. Reset. Now silently repeat this. I'm exactly where I'm meant to be. And notice, how does that land? Does something soften? Does your chest open? Does your breath deepen? Or does it feel uncomfortable in a different way? And just notice. Open your eyes when you're ready. What you just practiced is discernment. Fear and truth feel different in the body. Fear often creates tightness in the chest or throat, shallow breathing, a sense of urgency or panic, contraction. Truth often creates a sense of settling or grounding, a deeper breath, spaciousness in your body, and even in your mind, steadiness. The first statement, I'm running out of time, is a fear story. Even if there's biological reality to age, the way we hold it matters. The second statement, I am exactly where I'm meant to be, might feel uncomfortable because it asks you to stop fighting reality. But it doesn't create the same panic. And that difference is what you're learning to trust. And when you can tell the difference between fear and truth in your body, you stop making decisions from panic. You start making them from inner trust. That's Fire Horse energy. So drop in the chat, which statement felt more true? Was it the first one, number 1, I'm running out of time? Or door number 2, I'm exactly where I'm meant to be? Good. Excellent. Good. Felt like home. Yes, it should feel like home. Truth should feel like home. Beautiful. Thank you. Great. I'm really glad to see that, because when the baseline rises, which it just did within a matter of however long that practice took, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, your baseline, your frequency rose. When the baseline rises, the woman changes first, and the outcome follows later. And so I've watched this shift happen again and again. And so give me a moment here while I go back to my slides. Everyone with me so far? Oh, blooming. I love that. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So Christina had 3 rounds of IVF, nearly $100,000 invested. Oh, I'm sorry. I want to make sure that I'm sharing this correctly. I don't think I did that the first time. My apologies. I forget. Zoom changed the way that they present shares. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So Christina had done 3 rounds of IVF, nearly $100,000 invested. Nothing worked. Doctors told her she had less than 2% chance. When she joined, she said, I'm not doing this from panic anymore. So for months, nothing dramatic happened, but she slept more deeply. She stopped spiraling, and she trusted herself more and more. 8 months later, she conceived naturally at 42. But what she says mattered most during the journey before her pregnancy was, I got myself back. I wasn't living in fear anymore. Christine became whole, and from that wholeness, life delivered what was meant for her. Now let me share Anna's story. Anna came to me during back-to-back IVF cycles. She was exhausted, scared, skeptical. She told me she wasn't a spiritual person, and yet something in her knew she couldn't keep living in survival mode the way that she had been doing it. Anna became whole, and from that wholeness, something different opened. Not the outcome she once imagined, but the one that brought real peace. Today, Anna speaks about expansion, peace, integration, not because she gave up, but because she grew into someone who could hold her life with open hands. Her life is not smaller, it's fuller. She did not lose, she transformed into the woman who can meet any outcome with power. Both Christina and Anna walked the same path. Both became whole. One conceived, one found peace. Both are Fire Horse transformations. And this is what Foundation Circle guarantees: wholeness. From that wholeness, life reorganizes. Sometimes that looks like pregnancy. Sometimes it looks like a different kind of sacred expansion. Either way, you are no longer diminished by the path. After working with hundreds of women over 40, the pattern is consistent. Women at 41 who were told they would never ovulate again conceived naturally. Women at 45 after failed IVF cycles found steadiness first, pregnancy second. Women at 49 who didn't become mothers in the way they imagined, but rebuilt their lives with peace and self-trust. Women who entered exhausted and left grounded. Women who strengthened marriages during this process. Women who stopped hating their bodies. The outcomes vary. The internal shift does not. Wholeness is the guarantee. What grows from that wholeness is what belongs in your life. And that's the practice and the pattern. So, you have just heard two different women's stories, and I'm guessing as you listened, you felt something. Maybe hope, maybe grief, maybe fear that it won't work for you, maybe longing. Whatever you felt, that's where we're going to work with right now. Because Fire Horse energy is the ability to hold the fire of those feelings without being consumed by them. And that's emotional alchemy. And that's what we're practicing next. So for this practice, you're going to learn something most women were never taught: how to be with difficult emotion without collapsing into it or pushing it away. This is the fifth shine capacity, emotional alchemy, and it's the fire itself in Fire Horse energy. A Fire Horse can feel intense emotion and stay steady. She doesn't suppress it. She doesn't explode. She lets it move through. And that's what we're practicing. So find a comfortable position. Close your eyes if that feels safe for you. And take 3 settling breaths. I'm going to ask you to bring up something real from your fertility journey. Not the worst thing, not something that will overwhelm you, but something that's true. Maybe it's the disappointment that you felt last month when your period started. Maybe it's the fear about time running out. Maybe it's the grief of another pregnancy announcement from someone younger. Choose one. Something that you can touch without drowning in it. Now, instead of thinking about it, I want you to notice where you feel it in your body. Don't analyze. Excuse me. Don't analyze. Just locate. Is there tightness in your chest? Heaviness in your belly? A lump in your throat? Tension in your jaw? Just notice you're not fixing it. You're finding it. Now, here's what most women do with difficult feelings. They either push them down or they spiral into the story about them. This means I'll never ... What if fill in the blank? It's not fair that whatever it is. We're not doing that here. We're going to do something different. We're going to breathe directly into the sensation. So here's how. On your next inhale, imagine your breath going directly to that place in your body where you feel the emotion, like you're sending oxygen to a tight muscle. Inhale and direct the breath to that spot. And exhale and let that spot soften just slightly. Not release, just soften. Again, inhale into the tightness, wherever it feels constricted. Exhale and let it soften. One more time. Breathe into where it lives. Exhale and give it permission to be there. You're not trying to make it go away. You're making space for it to exist. You're letting it be there. This is radical. Most of us were taught that feeling bad emotions means something has gone wrong. But emotions are just energy, and energy needs to move. Right now, you're learning to be with the energy instead of being controlled by it. It's a huge difference. Now I'm going to ask you to go one layer deeper. Under every difficult emotion is a truth your body is trying to tell you. Fear might be saying, I care deeply about this. Grief might be saying, I'm letting go of something I loved. Anger might be saying, I need to protect my energy. What is the emotion you're feeling trying to tell you? What is that energy that you're feeling telling you? Not the story, the truth. For example, if you're feeling fear, the truth might be, this matters to me. If you're feeling grief, the truth might be, I'm mourning what I thought would be easy. If you're feeling anger, the truth might be, I will not abandon myself anymore. See if you can name the truth underneath. Now here's the alchemy part. I want you to hold two things at the same time. The difficult emotion and the truth underneath it. The fear and this matters to me. The grief and I'm letting go with dignity. The anger and I'm protecting my worth. Both can be true at the same time. You can feel hard things and be steady. You can want something deeply and survive not having it yet. You can be disappointed in the outcome and not disappointed in yourself. This is what Fire Horse energy feels like, holding the fire without being consumed. Take 3 breaths here, feeling both at once. When you're ready, take one final deep breath. Place both hands on your heart. And say this internally or out loud. I can feel this without falling apart. Open your eyes when you're ready. And then drop in the chat what came through to you. What was that like to hold both? To hold the enormity of that emotion and not drowning in it. Trust in my body. Felt loved. Beautiful. Heavy but grounded. Powerful. Good. Free. Lovely. Peace. Empowering. Less pressure. Understanding. Feels like the world became still. Beautiful. Alive. Anchored in understanding. Honesty freed me. I understand that everything comes for a reason. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. What you just did is emotional alchemy. You didn't suppress the feeling. You didn't spiral into the story. You didn't make it mean something catastrophic about you or your future. All you did was you located it, you found it where it was living in your body, you breathed into it, and then you found the truth underneath. And then you held both, the difficulty and your steadiness. That is power. Most women on this journey have become experts at holding it together, aka suppression, or falling apart. That's collapse. Fire Horse energy teaches a third way, feeling fully while staying steady. This is not something that you will master in one practice in one session. This is something that you build over time with repetition. But right now, in your body, you have evidence that it is possible. You just held something difficult without you spiraling out of control. That's emotional alchemy. And when you can do this with disappointment, with fear, with grief, with anger, with jealousy, with resentment, you free up enormous energy. Because you're no longer using your resources to avoid feeling or to recover from collapsing. You can feel it, metabolize it, and keep moving. A single webinar is not going to create lasting change. That is the reality. Insight feels powerful and motivating in the moment. You get a nice dopamine hit of, oh, I get it. But without sustained support, most women return to their old baseline the next day when they wake up with anxiety. And it's not because they failed. It's because patterns reinforced for years, even decades, require repetition to shift. If you approach the next year the same way you approached the last one, you will likely recreate the same internal experience and therefore the same results, even if the medical plan changes. That's conditioning. And new conditioning requires a new environment. I want to say something gently and with love, but clearly. Another year of approaching this the same way doesn't just cost time. It costs presence. It costs joy. It costs connection in your marriage, in your partnership. It costs the woman who feels at ease in her life and steady in her body. Left alone, the pattern keeps recreating the same year. And the result is that you repeat the same internal experience, the same late night research, the same bracing before appointments, the same crash when your period starts, the same tension in your relationship. It's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's because that's the nervous system default that you've been living in. And baselines do not change on their own. Imagine it's December. You're sitting in the same chair, watching another of my webinars, having the same conversation, feeling the same exhaustion. Nothing catastrophic happened, but nothing shifted either. That's drift. It's not dramatic. It's just quiet repetition of the same old, same old. And that cycle is what steals years. And I've heard something from so many women over the years. I just want to feel like myself again. The version of you before this became all-consuming, the vibrant one, the playful one, the woman who wasn't measuring her worth by test results or whether or not her period comes. Think about who you were before this journey became central. How did you move through your days? How did you relate to your partner? What did you do for fun without calculating timing? This journey has a way of shrinking a woman's world. It narrows your focus. It tightens your nervous system. It makes everything feel high stakes. The Heart Portal Foundation Circle is about widening your world again and integrating who you were with who you're becoming. So you can want motherhood deeply without losing yourself in the process. And if that resonates, if you feel the part of you that wants herself back, there's something important to recognize. There's a difference between understanding this work intellectually at the mind level and being willing to practice it so every cell of your body knows it 24/7. Women who find me are intelligent. They already get it. This container works best for women who are genuinely open to being guided, not just validated, because you will be challenged. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be fearless, but you do need to be willing. Willing to stay when discomfort rises, because it will, over and over again. Willing to try something different, because this journey asks something different of you. Willing to loosen your grip on controlling every variable. If that's you, you'll thrive here. It's a live container. The women who bloom inside Foundation Circle attend regularly and participate with their video on. That presence is what changes baselines. After 26 years doing this work, I have learned something simple. Women do not struggle because they didn't do enough or did anything wrong. They struggle because they tried to do this alone for too long. Almost every woman who eventually finds peace says the same thing. I wish I had gotten support sooner. Not because time ran out, because she spent years in unnecessary suffering. Support creates stability, and stability changes how you move through this path. If what we covered today resonated and you know you don't want another year of spiraling alone, the Heart Portal Foundation Circle is the natural and logical next step. Give me 1 second. I want to show you. Oops, what's going on? pardon me. I want to show you the slide. One second. Okay, we'll do it without the slide. You're welcome. All right, so sorry, tech error. So the Foundation Circle, it's a one-year container. It's primarily for women over 40 who are ready to approach this chapter with maturity and commitment and leadership. You move through the full shine arc from pressure to stability to sovereign leadership. You cultivate Fire Horse energy, bold, free, and fully in your body. Inside, you receive 2 live group circles each month. They are the first and third Saturdays. Replays are available, but the transformation happens live. Ongoing guidance and support you'll also receive. You'll get weekly practices to regulate your nervous system and an incredible private community of women walking the same journey as you. Women who get it, and lifetime access to the full curriculum. Oh, I do want to share this slide, this next one, because this one is awesome. Hold on. Okay, let's go back. I got it now. Thank you for your patience. Okay. So that's the Heart Portal Foundation Circle. We'll go back to that. What I was saying is that the community is just incredible. And I want to share with you KE's story and what she said about our private community. Julie's teachings helped me find calm and trust during a time that felt overwhelming. One of the most meaningful parts of this experience was being part of a community of women walking the same path. What could have been isolating became filled with connection. I never felt alone. The tools didn't just help me conceive at 43, they continue to support me in the beautiful chaos of motherhood now. This work helped me become a calmer, more confident version of myself. KE conceived at 43, but what she values most is that the work continues to serve her in pregnancy, in birth, and now in motherhood. Because this isn't just about getting pregnant. It's about becoming the woman who can hold whatever comes with steadiness. So this is the Foundation Circle. It is not a course. It's a structured transformation. This is a year of being held when the disappointments come, a year of not spiraling alone at 2 a.m., a year of being reminded who you are when fear gets loud. 1 year is going to pass. The question is how you want to live it. Let me address the 2 most common hesitations directly. The first being money and the cost of the investment. When that thought arises, I don't know if I can afford this, pause and be honest with yourself. Is this truly about access or about prioritization? Because I invite you to really consider whether this year of your life deserves to look different. Women in their 40s fund what they prioritize: medical care, homes, travel, education. The real question is not, is $5,000 possible? It's, is another year of the same internal experience acceptable? Many women spend $20,000 to $40,000 in the US on one IVF cycle. Very few invest in stabilizing the women going through it. This is a year of guided integration, a year of emotional regulation, a year of not collapsing at every turn. 1 year will pass regardless. How you live it is the decision. Now I want to address the other question some of you may have. Will this work for me? If what you mean by that is, will I get pregnant? I can't promise that. No honest practitioner can. What I can promise is this: if you show up and practice, you will not be the same woman a year from now. Wholeness deepens, and from wholeness, life reorganizes around what is truly meant for you, whether that's pregnancy, peace, or a kind of expansion you can't even yet imagine. You saw 3 different stories today. Christina conceived at 42 after being told it was nearly impossible. KE conceived at 43 and continues to integrate this work in motherhood. Anna found peace and a deeper expansion at 49. And something important to understand is this: KE and Anna are still active inside this community because this is not outcome-based support. It's a space for ongoing growth. The practices deepen, the integration continues, and the relationships inside this container become meaningful. Foundation Circle isn't just about getting through a chapter. It's about becoming a steadier woman inside it. Different outcomes, same work. Each woman became more whole, and from that wholeness, life unfolded differently. Pregnancy is sacred. Peace is sacred. The women who thrive here are not the ones with the best odds on paper. They are the ones who commit to the work. Some arrive scared, some arrive unsure, but they practice, and that practice changes them. The investment in Foundation Circle is $5,000 paid in full. There's also a 5-month payment option at a slightly higher total. If at the end of this you feel clarity and your mind immediately says, I need to think about it, that's normal. That's your mind's job to keep you safe. Just make sure you're thinking from truth, not from fear of committing. There's a difference. Fear says, wait until you feel 100% certain. Leadership says, I know enough. If you feel that in your body, if you know you don't want another year of doing this alone, then the Heart Portal Foundation Circle is open. We begin with a private Foundation Circle invitation call. I'm opening 10 invitation calls with me this week. If the $5,000 investment is within your range and you're ready for this level of work, the next step is to schedule that call. There is a short application beforehand, so we both know we're using our time intentionally. On the call, we'll look at what's creating pressure, whether you're ready for a live container, and whether this is the right next step for you. The link is in the chat, and my assistant Lucy will put that in. Thank you. And before we move into questions, I want to leave you with this. Fire Horse energy doesn't force. It doesn't freeze. It chooses cleanly, consciously. If you're ready to stop spiraling and start leading, if you're ready to want motherhood without abandoning yourself, if you're ready to approach this chapter with steadiness instead of panic, this is your next step. Not because I convinced you, but because something in you already knows. So take a breath. Many of you will leave inspired. Know this: inspiration fades. Decisions reshape years. If nothing changes, nothing changes. A year will pass either way. If you're ready, step forward. If you're not, honor that. Either way, choose consciously. And ask yourself, what would Fire Horse leadership look like right now? Then act accordingly. And now we'll open the floor for questions. Let's see, what time are the sessions? They are on Saturdays at 12 p.m. Pacific, so that would be 8 p.m. London time. I don't really know what that translates to CET. That might be 9 p.m., possibly. GMT is 8, maybe CET is 9 p.m. Okay, you're very welcome. Are there any other questions? Let me just kind of scroll through and see about what we covered. about the program. All good? You're all good? Excellent. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your energy, your time, and I wish you the best on this journey. Thank you, everyone. Bye now.